So finally, the last one, and something else, something nostalgic or vile. That's the only hint you're going to get. But for those of you who are looking to buy or wondering what the hell a definitive edition is, now you can find out. Plus the other random thing that they're asking money for. That random thing is the Final Hours digital book. I would usually classify this as a third-party thing, like a game guide. But since it's on the Steam page and has a presence on the marketplaces, I should probably explain it. The Final Hours is a series created by controversial games personality Jeff Keighley. It consists of a digital book available on Steam, Apple App Store, and at one point Amazon Marketplace for $2.99. So it's not that this is controversial, I just can't take him seriously as a journalist, but, you know. It's also a video dev diary series available for free on the PlayStation Network, Xbox Marketplace, and YouTube, which is hosted by Zachary Levi, and we've talked about it a few times already. Feel free to Google these if you so desire. Now for the actual game. I'm not going to go into the pricing for these because they constantly change, and I'm also not going to talk about the editions, quote-unquote, like the Collector's Edition, Survival Edition. A, because they change between regions, and B, because you're smart enough to clearly see what's inside them and how they're marked. However, I am going to talk about Game of the Year Edition and Definitive Edition. First up is the regular Tomb Raider. I'll call it the vanilla version. Just the basic game, access to multiplayer, etc. Available for PC, 360, and PS3. More difficult to find now on store shelves though because they've been replaced with the Game of the Year editions. Game of the Year Edition, available for PC, 360, and PS3, has the vanilla game plus most of the downloadable DLC. I say most because it does not include the shortcut DLCs Animal Instinct, Headshot Reticule, Agility Skill, Pistol Burst, and Pistol Silencer. As I've said before, these were a waste of money and are unlockable through gameplay anyway, so nothing's lost. But technically not all DLC is included as claimed. This would usually seem like a fantastic deal, but as I've detailed in the DLC episodes, the only thing that's possibly worthwhile would be the Tomb of the Lost Adventurer. The outfits are just character skins, but if you like that sort of thing, then you can go for it. However, all the multiplayer DLC, except for the downloadable characters, actually prevent you from playing with people that do not have the same content installed. Again, I go over it in the DLC episodes, but suffice it to say that more than one reviewer on Amazon for the 360 version of the Game of the Year complained they could not find anyone online to play with, where with my vanilla version, I do occasionally find a match. So, yeah. If you can find the vanilla edition to the Game of the Year, it should be at least $10 cheaper, so grab it instead. If you decide you really want the Tomb of the Lost Adventurer on the outfits, you can get them all online as DLC for $5, so it puts the decision in your hands and saves you some money. So the final version of the game is the definitive edition for next-gen consoles, Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And again, you can use my 100% guide for your definitive edition as well. Obviously it's been graphically improved, but content-wise, essentially the same as Game of the Year. Vanilla game with all the DLC integrated except for the ability DLCs like Pistol Burst or Agility. But in addition, it also includes digital versions of the beginning comic book and the art book that are in the digital survival edition. However, it's different in that everybody's the same because there's no additional DLC like there is in the current gen versions. Everybody has exactly the same content installed from day one, so it doesn't become an issue with multiplayer compatibility like it did again on the current gen. Everybody has every map and the additional downloadable weapons and skins. But even so, the same limitation exists on the map packs that are there in the current gen versions, that the most of the additional maps are only available to play in free-for-all. So check out my multiplayer DLC episode for more information on that if you are curious. And if you're wondering if there's any differences between the consoles, the only significant thing is the average frame rates. The Xbox One has an average of 30 frames per second, and PlayStation 4 has an average of 50 frames per second or so, with a cap at about 60. But you already probably have one system or the other already, so, it doesn't really matter. And if for any reason you're using Tomb Raider as a deciding factor in which console you want to get, then, you're kind of missing the whole point. So, how exactly has it graphically improved? Well, I mean by higher resolution textures, improved character models, more realistic physics, bug fixes, super hair, etc., etc. But the biggie is changing the face of Lara. The devs keep on claiming that this is what they always envisioned, which may or may not be true, but what is definitely is true is that she looks way prettier, in some cases even like she has makeup on. This has stirred up a bit of controversy in that this game was lauded for creating a strong female protagonist that was obviously attractive, but it was not her defining characteristic. This was a big point for the series because of past iterations, but it's still true nonetheless. So by making her more perfect, it takes away from that strength significantly. They could have had easily made her higher definition and kept the same facial structure and not given her, a base coating of makeup. But alas. At least they didn't make her bustier and give her watermelons. But what I don't know for sure is if the improved physics affect her grapefruits. Well, is the definitive edition actually worth it? I'd say yes, but not just for the graphical overhaul. So if you don't already own the game on a different console, then by all means grab the definitive edition. You'll have a rock-stomping good adventure. But that being said, I'd say at maybe around $40, $45. That's where I'm comfortable recommending the game, just considering the amount of content you get out of the single player. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching the 100% series of Tomb Raider. Finally finished by golly. Took a while. Yeah, but what's next? I don't know. You may have to prep your childish sense of humor, or grab a scuba tank. I haven't decided yet. This has been Kuddlesnot. I'm signing off. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.